Education has been an essential aspect of our life, as it plays a crucial role in shaping our personality, individual values, and our understanding of the world. But do we really understand education as it is? Have you ever wondered how we acquired knowledge through schooling, how our own learning experience defined the persons we are today, and how we can fit in the society with the knowledge and experience we got from schools? In order to answer those questions, we need to understand education through two separate approaches: traditionalism and progressivism. Those are two significant educational approaches that have different aims and goals. According to John Dewey, traditionalism advocates for a structured, teacher-centered approach, where knowledge is transmitted from the teacher to the students. In contrast, progressivism argues for a student-centered approach, where learning is an active process that involves students in the discovery of knowledge. This video will focus on comparing and contrasting traditional education and progressive education in terms of its nature of knowledge, what kind of people students are to become, and what sort of society being promoted through each approach. As Freire discussed in his book Pedagogy of the Oppressed, knowledge in traditional education is seen as something that is objective, fixed, and external to the learner. It is often passed down from generation to generation, rooted in established disciplines and subjects. The focus is on transmitting this pre-existing knowledge to students. As mentioned in Week 3 lecture, the nature of knowledge in traditional education is often characterized by a hierarchical structure. There is a clear distinction between the knower, the teacher, and the learner, the student. The teacher holds the knowledge, and the student's role is to receive and absorb it. In this approach, the teacher is regarded as an authority figure who possesses the knowledge and imparts it to the students. This knowledge is often presented in a structured and organized manner, following a set curriculum that covers a wide range of subjects. The learning process in this approach is correspondent with the behavioralist psychological theory of how people learn. On the other hand, knowledge in progressive education, according to Freire, is seen as dynamic, evolving, and contextual. Progressivism views knowledge as something that is constructed by the learner through active engagement with the world. It is not limited to a fixed body of information, but rather encompasses the skills, attitudes, and understandings that enable individuals to navigate and make sense of their environment. In progressive education, the nature of knowledge is often interdisciplinary and interconnected. It is not confined to specific subjects but is integrated across various disciplines and real-life contexts. The emphasis is on meaningful learning experiences that allow students to explore and make connections between different areas of knowledge. Students are encouraged to engage in inquiry-based learning, problem-solving, and critical thinking to construct their own understanding of the world. The teacher's role in progressive education shifts from being the sole authority figure to becoming a facilitator and guide. The teacher supports and encourages students to actively participate in their own learning, facilitating discussions, and providing resources and guidance to promote independent thinking and knowledge construction. According to Week 3 lecture, this approach is supported by the learning theory of cognitive psychology. Different ways of learning define different personality, hence different individuals. Students in traditional education are encouraged to follow rules and regulations, and there is an emphasis on rote memorization and adherence to traditional methods of learning. They are expected to be disciplined, respectful, obedient, and adhere to established norms and values. Traditionalism aims to shape students into individuals who possess a deep understanding of the classics, great works of literature, history, and philosophy. The goal is to produce individuals who are knowledgeable, well-rounded, and prepared to contribute to society based on existing societal norms and values. One of the concerns with traditional education is that it may produce students who are passive and conformist, lacking in creativity and independent thinking. Traditional education tends to emphasize the acquisition of knowledge at the expense of critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It may also promote a narrow and rigid view of the world, one that is limited to a set of established subjects and ideas. In progressive education, the emphasis is on fostering the development of individuals who are independent, critical thinkers, and problem solvers. The focus is on cultivating creativity, adaptability, and the ability to engage in lifelong learning. Students are encouraged to explore their own interests, pursue their passions, and actively participate in their own education. They are also shaped to question authority, challenge existing ideas, and develop their own perspectives. One of the concerns with progressive education is that it may produce students who lack a deep understanding of the classics and the great works of literature, history, and philosophy. Progressive education tends to emphasize the development of skills at the expense of knowledge acquisition. It may also promote a fragmented and relativistic view of the world, one that is based on individual perspectives and lacks a shared sense of cultural heritage. As Audrey Sedgwick II lecture, education cannot be detached from the society that it's in. And education is a major instrument for producing certain kinds of society. Indeed, both approaches have their own strengths and weaknesses. Traditional education may promote a narrow and rigid view of the world, while progressive education may lack a shared sense of cultural heritage. Nevertheless, both approaches share a common aim: to prepare individuals to become responsible and productive members of society. According to Ayesha Shia in Empowering Education, progressive education tends to align with societies that value individualism, critical thinking and creativity as often seen in most democratic societies. By contrast, traditional education is considered suitable for societies that have strong cultural heritage and a desire to maintain traditions, customs, and values, like in many Asian countries with collectivist culture. Those societies often emphasize hierarchy and social roles, where individuals are expected to fulfill predetermined roles based on their societal position. Ultimately, the choice between traditional and progressive education depends on one's educational goals and values. As educators and learners, we need to be aware of the philosophical and educational concerns that underpin these two approaches and strive to create an educational environment that is responsive to the needs of our students and the demands of the world we live in.